Our lesson for today will be looking at Chemistry 1502. We are still busy with Iupac naming lesson 102. Let us start. We've looked at 10 examples from lesson 101 and 101.2. How to name compounds using general rules of Iupac naming. So there are some compounds which are very difficult to name, mainly because we don't have enough information. So in this lesson video, before we start looking at those compounds, we are going to start looking at all the possible alkyl groups. So far we know that we have methyl group, which is CH3. This is methyl. We also know of CH2, CH3, which is ethyl. We've used this substituent before. And then we have CH2, CH2, CH3, which is propyl. Some say it's propyl. Or sometimes it's written N-propyl. This N simply means normal. So it's just the normal propyl. And then we have CH2, 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 CH3. I'm talking about substituent here, the attachments. And then this is butyl, also known as N-butyl. Should know that this is the same thing. Now other ones which are not usual, let's say we have something like this. You can see the difference. It is not attached to the longest chain as a chain, but instead it has something like this, and then this bond, it goes to the longest chain or the parent chain. So let's say we have something like this. What do we call this? How many carbons do we have here? We have 3 carbons. Remember that if you have 1, it's methyl. If you have 2, we have ethyl. If we have 3, we have propyl, but arranged in a straight manner or straight line. So let's say we have 3 carbons arranged in this manner. We call this isopropyl or propyl. Since we have 3 carbons arranged in this manner, we call this isopropyl. And then let's say we have another one. Let me actually use another page so that you can see this. Let's say we have this carbon is from the parent chain, then we have carbon here, and then we have another one here, and then we have something like this. How many carbons do we see here? Remember, this whole thing is a branch. We have 4 carbons, and then at the end we have something like this. We call this isobutyl. There is another one which is similar like this, which is similar to this but not the same. Let's say this is from the parent chain, and then we have carbon here, and then we have a carbon here, and then we have CH2, CH3. Looking at the difference, you can see that we have methyl, and then we have ethyl here. We call this sec-butyl. And then let's say we have something like this. From the parent chain, we have our carbon here, and then we have methyl, we have methyl, we have another methyl here. We call this a third butyl, or sometimes it is called T-butyl. So these are other alkyl groups you should be familiar with, because when we look at organic chemistry, you might find that a compound structural formula has something like this, and then naming it, you should know that the name will consist of something like this. So if you don't know what this, you cannot identify the substituent, it will be difficult for you to identify and be able to write the correct Iupac name. So let us look at the examples. Suppose we want the Iupac name of this compound. You can see if we count from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we cannot consider this as the longest chain. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you count from right to left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in this case, we cannot count from right to left, because you can see that the closest carbon that contains the substituent is from left to right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then carbon number 3, that is where we have our, you have to identify this. This is isopropyl or isopropyl. So we have 3 isopropyl, and then the parent chain is 6. Then we simply have isopropyl hexane. The reason why we start from 11 is that we are linking this lesson video with the first 2 lesson videos that we've covered. Now we start introducing new things. So let's say we have a halogen in our compound. To give the name of this, okay, let's say we start from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So when we try to name from counting left to right, we have fluorine on carbon number 2. So we're going to have 2 fluoro, and then if you count from left to right, we have 3 fluoro. Remember that we are comparing, and then we have 4 as our parent chain, which will simply be butane. And then also on the left hand side we have, starting from right to left, we have butane. So again, we have to compare. The smallest value is this one, so it means we are going to count from right. So we have 2 fluorobutane. Remember, there should not be any space between butane instead of 3 fluorobutane. So this would be the Iupac name for this compound. Looking at this might seem to be the most complicated example we've looked at, but it is simple. Pause the video, try to work it out, and play the video to verify the answer. Now, looking at this, we have to identify the longest chain first, so that we can know the location of our substituent. So let us look at, starting from left to right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. we have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we have 7. We start from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, we have 7. So you can see that the longest chain is actually this one. So let us start identifying. Suppose we are looking for the correct Iupac name. We are going to do both ways and see which one is acceptable. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or we are going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let us start with the pink color. We start to identify. Carbon number 2, we have methyl group. So on 2 we have 2 methyl. And then let us, on carbon number 3, we have the halogen. And then on carbon number 4, this is actually a substituent. You can see what it is. We have 4 iso propyl, and then the parent chain is heptane. So let us compare it with, are we done with the substituent? Yes. Okay, let us compare it with the black one, the black color. So if you take it this direction, we are going to have on carbon number 4, actually let's start with the methyl. On carbon number 6 we have methyl. By looking at this alone we can see which one is acceptable. And then on carbon number 5 we have fluoro. On carbon number 4 we have our isopropyl. So comparing these numbers, we can see that we are going to go with the pink one because it contains smallest numbers. So combining this, we have to use the alphabetical order. We have M, F, and I. We start with F. So we have 3 fluoro hyphen 4 iso propyl hyphen 2 methyl, and then we have our heptane here. It's just one name, so let me write it here, heptane. So this will be the Iupac name for this particular compound. Now let us look at this one. Remember that once we have a double bond, it will take the priority. So definitely going to start here, counting. Then parent chain, we can see that it's butene. The double bond is on the first carbon. Then the first substituent is on carbon number 3, which is the methyl group. Then on the last carbon, we have 2 fluorines. So we start 3 methyl, 4. How many fluorines do we have? We have 2, so it's difluoro. And then we know that we have butene. You can say 1 butene. Then it is simple. Between F and M, which one comes first? It's F. But remember that the first one is on the 4th carbon. The second one is also on the 4th carbon. So don't make that mistake that I was about to do also. So it's 4.4. So we have 4.4 difluoro hyphen 3 hyphen methyl hyphen 1 hyphen butene. So this is the Iupac name for this particular compound. Let us look at our last example. When we count remember that if we start counting from here, definitely sure we are going to have bigger values of B and BR and CL, the substituent, together with this one also. So if we count on the left hand side from here, definitely going to have lower values of CL and BR. So this alone will actually assist us to know where to start. So let us check the longest chain, the longest chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can see definitely sure this will be the longest chain. So we have carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let us identify our substituent then. Carbon number 2, we have chlorine. So it will be 2 chloro. Carbon number 3, we have bromine. It will be 3 bromo. And then carbon number 4, we have our methyl. So it's 4 methyl. And still on carbon number 4, we have ethyl. And then the longest chain, it's heptane. So let us go ahead and do this. We'll have to start alphabetically. Alphabetically, bromo, B comes first. Secondly, we are going to use this part, chloro. Then thirdly, we are going to use ethyl. Then fourthly, we are going to use methyl. So let us actually combine our names. So we have 3 bromo hyphen 2 hyphen chloro hyphen 4 hyphen ethyl hyphen 4 hyphen methyl heptane. So the name will come here, heptane. That's it for this lesson video. The next lesson video will be looking at dienes, which is one of the important groups that we have to check. Dienes and cyclobenzenes. This is Wahula SJ. Thank you very much.